Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. So it has gone abysmally wrong for Joao Felix on his Chelsea debut. Not only did Chelsea suffer defeat at Craven Cottage 2-1 against Fulham, but Joao Felix was also sent off. Things go from bad to worse for Graham Potter in the Chelsea dugout. Surely it's just a matter of time before he is sacked by Chelsea and their new board and Todd Bowley. They have gained 6 points from the last 27 available. That is abysmal no matter what way you look at it. Now, I'm someone that thinks Graham Potter probably needs a little bit of time. You know what I mean? Things are going badly for Chelsea at the minute. Loads of injuries left, right and centre. Another one today for Denis Zakaria, who has been very good for Chelsea in recent weeks. And you feel like he needs time. He needs time to get things together, but he's not going to be given that time, is he? I know there's new ownership there and stuff, but when you're splashing the kind of cash that Chelsea are on players, and look, you look at that squad and you look at the team, and while it needs reinforcement and while it needs work doing on it, there's still a lot of experience in that squad. There's still players that they've signed for big money, yet they are failing to perform. And you do look at Graham Potter and you think he's starting to resemble David Moyes at Manchester United, someone that's just really under the pressure. And you've seen maybe a few cracks appearing with his Mr. Nice Guy image kind of disappearing this week in the press. Now, you can maybe say that's a good thing. You know, he's getting fed up with stupid questions, but it is unlike Graham Potter. So things going from bad to worse for him at Chelsea, and we'll get stuck into that, what that means for the top four race, if they're even included in that. Do we still include Chelsea in that, or are they in a battle for like Europa League, Europa Conference League spots? Because whilst there's still a long way to go in the season, I think Chelsea have 20 games left, 60 points left to play for. It's not looking good for them, is it? You know, 10 points behind United, having played a game more. Things are not looking good at Chelsea right now. And to be fair to Joao Felix, I thought the challenge, you know, probably a red card, you know, is high and is late. I think the players I think he would have hurt, but I don't think it hurt as much as it did. And the player's foot wasn't planted or anything like that. And I think the player's known, I can possibly get him sent off here. But look, VAR's there now. You're always going to get sent off for that kind of challenge. And maybe you feel like Joao Felix has come into the Premier League and he's thought, I'm going to have to be physical, I'm going to have to be strong. You know, I'm going to have to put myself out around a bit. And he's gone and done that, but he's gone a step too far, got himself sent off and put Graham Potter under the cosh. Graham Potter's probably wishing he was Harry Potter right now, because he needs all the tricks, all the magic he can get. Joao Felix sent off on his debut. Zakaria injured. Things going bad to worse for Chelsea as they lose again. And the first goal coming from Willian, which would have been a horror to Chelsea fans, especially when you look at the fact he was a player they let go not long ago because he wasn't good enough. You know, he went elsewhere. He went to Arsenal. Don't even know. I think he went to Brazil. He's come back to Fulham with a point to prove. He's been pretty good for them this season. Bit of luck with his goal, but a good effort nonetheless. 1-0 to Chelsea. The warning signs were there for them just before as they hit the bar. And then the goal from Vinicius after that red card, when it was 1-1, after Chelsea had got themselves back into it early in the second half, came from an Andreas Pereira cross, which was out of this world. Now, it was a fantastic cross, and Carlos Vinicius has done really well to get onto it on the back post. But the goalkeeper, Kepa Arrizabalaga, what the hell are you doing? You're in no man's land. You've got to claim that, surely. Or get back on your line. Probably claim it. He's a tall enough lad, and he's kind of made himself as small as possible. Not made an effort to get to the ball, so he's not even putting the striker off. He's not done anything. Just indecisive. What are you doing? So that was a horror show from them at the back, but a perfect cross from Andreas Pereira, who got man of the match for Fulham as well. Well, man of the match in the game on BT Sport, and I think he deserved it. He was quality all day in the press. He was very, very good. His passing was good as well, trying to make things happen, trying to probe, trying to get the openings in that Chelsea backline, and he really deserved the assist with that cross. He had played a cross just before for Carlos Vinicius, which Carlos Vinicius misjudged and failed to bring under his control, which could have led to the goal before that. Fantastic cross by Andreas Pereira for the goal. United having sold him and he's gone on to do really well there. And I know people are praising the recruitment of Fulham, and I think you can, you look at Willian, Andreas Pereira, Paulinho, etc. They're doing fantastic. But Willian, Andreas Pereira, they're players that could have gone either way. And I think you need to give credit to Marco Silva as well, because Willian, we've seen what he did at Arsenal, didn't pull up trees, and you need the manager to get the best out of him. Same with Andreas Pereira, and I think he's done that. I really think he has, so hats off to him. They're above Chelsea in the league at the moment. I think the 7th in the league at the moment. Let me just bring the league table up on my phone right here. Yeah, they're 6th in the league at the moment, 3 points clear of Liverpool, although they have played 2 more games than Liverpool, 4 points clear of Brighton, but they have played 2 more games than them, 5 points clear of Brentford, who are in 9th, but they've played 1 more game than them. So Fulham are doing really, really well. 9 points away from that magic 40-point number. They're going to be safe. And the sky's the limit for them. Maybe they can try and get a Europa Conference League spot. Who knows what they can do. But this is a big, big defeat for Potter today. And you wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea pull the trigger on him. You look at this team, and I've sat here and I've said I think he deserves time. But you look at this team. Kepa Arrizabalaga, big money, bad recruitment again. Not his fault, he didn't buy him, but nevertheless, it's not like he's a young lad. Azpilicueta, Chalobah, Hall's a young lad. Think he did all right today, but again, he's the one in there that you'd excuse with inexperience. Kai Havertz, Joao Felix, Koulibaly, Thiago Silva, Kovacic, Mount, Dennis Zakaria on the bench. You got Aubameyang, who didn't get off the bench. Badiashile, Cucurella, Fofana, Gallagher, Jorginho, Ziyech. Ziyech has just come off a World Cup where he did really well. Maybe you try and use a little bit of that confidence. And then when you hear Chelsea and their players and their manager this week, senior players gathered for a no-holds-barred save our season meeting with head coach Graham Potter, that to me screams of a lack of control. That does. And I know these things happen in football, and teams have meetings and clear the air and all those kind of things and just discuss stuff. But for a manager, regardless of the result, you've got to have a plan. And I know results can change plans sometimes, but ultimately, especially when you're new in the job in your first season, you should have a plan. I want to build these foundations. I want to get this working well. And I know he's had injuries and all that, and you can look at some of the players that are missing for them. I'll bring these up now. I know they've had injuries, but surely you should still have a plan, and you should be building a foundation. And he didn't. All right, fair enough. He didn't have a preseason, but Tuchel come in. How many finals did he get them to? I'm not saying he has to win the Champions League, but you have to be doing better with what you've got, because you do have a lot of talent at your disposal. And look, I know there's some players, Chilwell, big miss, Fofana, big miss, Reece James, Kante, Loftus-Cheek, Mendy, Pulisic, Sterling. Those are players that are big misses. But you've had Sterling, Pulisic recently. They weren't pulling up any trees. Reece James got injured recently. So I've had a few of those players recently and not pulled up any trees. I think he needs time, but I think you need to also exude a confidence and control. And that's one of the... I'm not going to make this about United. That's one of the reasons why I love Erik ten Hag at the minute. He just exudes that confidence and that control. That Graham Potter at the minute isn't. He looks like a rabbit caught in the headlights. And I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea let him go very, very soon, which would be an expensive mistake by them. Because you just look at them at the minute, and it doesn't seem to be any sense of control in the boardroom either. Look at their... I know they're Joao Felix, quality player, but look at their recruitment. Shocking. Doesn't seem to be following any sort of plan or anything. Reminds me of Ed Woodward. Anyway, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Keep it locked. How long will Potter last at Chelsea? See you soon.